If I had to start photography again all over in 2026, knowing everything I know now, I would buy very different gear than what I have started with. Not because the cameras are so different, but because after years of shooting weddings, travel, landscapes, portraits, adventures, and commercial work, I finally understand something most beginners don't realize. The gear you start with can either accelerate your progress or slow you down. So in this video, I want to talk through exactly what I would buy if I were starting from scratch today. This is a follow-on to Brenda's video about what we would do if we started our photography again today. And so this is gear focused, but if you want to learn more about what actual things that we would do, go check out her video. And with that said, I'm going to show you two different setups. One for someone who wants to become a professional photographer and one who wants to just enjoy photography as a hobby or maybe even a side hustle, because those are two very different paths. So first, let's talk about the biggest mistake beginners make. Before we talk about gear, I want to point out the mistake that most new photographers make. They buy too much gear too quickly. Multiple lenses, big camera bags, accessories they don't understand yet. When I started in photography, I thought the goal was to build a big kit of lenses and equipment as fast as possible. But if I could start over today, I would do the opposite. I would buy less equipment, but better gear. And I would focus on learning one camera and one lens really well. My name is Mark Bergering. I've been a professional photographer for over 15 years. And on this channel, we provide practical advice for growing your skills and shopping efficiently so you can save money. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button, it helps out. And everything we talk about will be linked down in the description, so be sure to go check out those links and support the channel. All right, so first, path one, the hobbyist setup. Let's start with the setup I would recommend for people watching this video who want to travel, document their life, photograph family, maybe shoot some landscapes or street photography, but that they don't necessarily want to build a full photography business. For this person, I would choose a modern APS-C camera. Maybe not the latest generation, but a solid model that was released within the past few years. Shopping used is completely acceptable and I would recommend it. Because APS-C cameras today are smaller, lighter, and more affordable than they used to be, and the image quality is almost the same as you would get out of a full frame camera. And honestly, most people don't need full frame cameras, which is something that I've changed my mind about recently. So if you want to know about my evolution from recommending full frame cameras to now actually recommending some APS-C cameras, go check out this video on why you may not need a full frame camera in 2026. So with that said, I would recommend something like the Sony a6700 or the Canon R7. These cameras have great autofocus, excellent image quality, good video features if you ever want to delve into that realm, and they're relatively compact. They're both in the roughly $1,500 price point, which is expensive, but it's giving you a lot of value. That may seem out of some people's reach, but I think if you're going to take photography seriously, you might consider that level of investment for a APS-C camera if you want to utilize all the features. If it's too much, you can always step back a couple models. They're usually released in sequence, so go shop something used from a few years back. All right, the hobbyist lens. If I had to start with just one lens, it would be a fast prime lens. Something like a 23mm f1.4 or a 33mm f1.4. And that is because those are equivalent to 35 and 50mm on full frame. And because those normal focal lengths really help teach you the fundamentals of photography: composition, subject isolation, storytelling, zooming with your feet where you get closer and further to change your composition. Those are going to be essential skills when you're first starting out. If you start with the kit zoom lens that often come with cameras, it can really cause you to be lazy. They make you just zoom in and out and not move around as much, which can be not as helpful if you're trying to learn photography skills and composition. They're also usually not very fast aperture, so they're bad in low light. And using a prime lens is one of the most recommended ways to improve your photography skills. Prime lenses are small, they're sharp, and they're relatively affordable, especially from manufacturers like Viltrox that make third-party options. And if I was gonna get a second lens, I would probably look at maybe a 56mm lens, which on an APS-C camera becomes an 85mm lens. This is great as a portrait lens or getting subject separation and learning the impact of compression with a telephoto lens. Alternatively, you could get a standard zoom or a wide angle zoom depending on what you like to photograph. Just make sure you flex your discipline muscle and use your zoom lens like a prime lens. Go check out Brenda's video on how to shoot with a 24 to 70mm lens, because that's going to give you a baseline of those skills to learn how to zoom with your feet and not just rotate the zoom ring to change your composition. And that 2-lens setup with, say, a 35mm equivalent and an 85mm equivalent can handle almost any photography subject. All right, so path 2, the professional setup. If I were starting a photography business in 2026 with the goal of eventually becoming a professional photographer, I would approach things slightly differently. Because when you're shooting professionally, a few things matter more. You're gonna want a big emphasis on reliability, low light performance, because you'll often end up in dark environments depending on the subjects you shoot. You'll want lens options to create that focal length variety, and you'll want system flexibility. And for that reason, I would probably recommend a full frame system. They're gonna give you all the features of modern cameras and some more customization and professional level features. So something like a Sony A7 IV, which I have here, a Canon R6 Mark II, or a Nikon Z6 Mark III. Now, these cameras might seem expensive at first, but they're actually kind of mid-tier. If it's a little bit out of your budget and you wanna start with something less expensive, you could always step back a generation. So instead of the R6 Mark II, say get the R6 Mark I. And as you shop that used market, you can find a price point that will give you a lot of the features of the latest generation in a slightly scaled back version. Now, these cameras are incredibly capable and widely used by professionals. You don't need the top of the line Sony A1 Mark II or whatever, the Canon R3, whatever. You just need something mid-grade that has a lot of the best features without that top tier pricing. These cameras are going to give you excellent dynamic range, strong autofocus, they're going to be solid in low light, and especially Sony has a huge lens ecosystem. You can shop Sony native lenses, or you can shop third-party like Viltrox, Sigma, Tamron, etc. And they're cameras you could realistically use for many years professionally. All right, now let's talk about professional lenses. If I was shopping for a lens for my new full frame camera for my professional photography career, I would look at a 35mm prime or maybe a 24 to 70mm zoom lens. Now, the prime is gonna help you learn some of those same skills that I recommended when I talked about the more hobbyist path. And if you've already developed those, then you might go more towards that zoom lens. And it really depends on what type of subjects you're photographing and what lens suits them best. But my top recommendation is to use your 24 to 70 like a prime lens. So instead of just zooming around all the time, decide in advance, okay, I want this picture to be a 35mm, or I want to shoot at 50mm specifically for this portrait. And that will teach your brain to not be lazy with your zoom lens. Now, both of these, the 35mm prime and the 24-70, are really versatile. You can shoot portraits, travel, documentary, events, you know, whether it's environmental storytelling or adventure, you're gonna be able to capture it all with just those focal lengths. But if you wanna expand your lens lineup, the second professional lens I would check out is between two options, either a 70 to 200 or a 16 to 35. Both of those lenses are going to be outside of that 24 to 70 standard range, which is just going to give you more focal length variety and allow you to create unique, more dynamic images. Now, if you're deciding between the 24 to 70 and the 70 to 200, you should check out Brenda's video that she just did comparing those two focal lengths and how they impact your photography. If you have a 24 to 70 and a 70 to 200, you can shoot almost anything professionally. It gives you a wide range of focal length, and you can capture just about any subject without, you know, with the exception of some super specialized stuff, like if you want to shoot wildlife, you'll need a really telephoto lens. Now, more important than the gear I would recommend buying is the gear I would not recommend buying. And if I were starting today, there are a few things that I would intentionally avoid early on. Things like huge lens collections, that's gonna be expensive. Specialty lenses, maybe you don't need that 600mm prime lens. Complicated lighting setups, you're not ready for that yet. And tons of accessories that will just bog you down. Those things can come later when you actually have a specific purpose for them. But the goal right now should be learning photography, not collecting gear. And beyond that, getting some clients if you're goal is professional. If I could go back and give my younger self one piece of advice, it would be this. The gear you choose matters a lot less than how you go out and create photographs. Photography is a skill built through repetition, observation, and curiosity. The camera is just the tool. So if I were starting in 2026, I wouldn't chase the biggest sensor or the most expensive lens kit. I would start simple. One camera, one great lens, and then I'd focus on doing the one thing that actually makes photographers better, going outside and making photos. If you've been pursuing photography for a while and you feel like you've hit a plateau, hit the subscribe button because Brenda is going to be doing a video on how to break through that plateau. I'll see you next time.